Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the TNA Ring Report, Mike Santana starts off the show as he defends his TNA World Championship against the world-class maniac, Eric Young. And Santana pull all odds to defend this title against Eric Young? Or will Eric Young come a little bit, once again, TNA champion and stuff? We'll get the TNA Ring Report right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the TNA Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kent Dixon. Glad you're doing still the TNA Ring Report. Let's talk about right here, right now. Join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe if you can. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing, man. This is the TNA Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Let's not waste no time whatsoever. Let's get things started right here, right now, for the TNA Ring Report. We kick things off with champion Mike Santana defending his TNA title against the number one contender for the gold, none other than the world class maniac himself, Eric Young. So let's get that thing started right here, right now. Um, this match was that. It kicked off Impact, and it kicked off Impact indeed. Santana putting his goal on the line. But Eric Young lost the match. Santana found a measured way to win, and did so. Even with the TNA president Carlos Silva was right there concerned about Santana, what was going on with Santana. Well, Santana looks like he was gonna get cashed in his title match. Dolph Ziggler, better known as Nic Nemeth now, came out there to try to call his shot. We thought he was gonna do it. He could have done it, and could have done it like Edge did 20 years ago when he cashed in his shot at Money in the Bank and won it. I think Santana was expecting that from Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, Nick Young saying that he's gonna give him some time. He's gonna look him the man face to face and do so for that. But I guess they're gonna have their match as promised at Slammiversary. These two men, Nemeth and Santana, will go at it for the TNA Championship. That will happen at Slammiversary as scheduled. But I think Nemeth could have called this shot, but I guess he didn't want to do so as promised and stuff. So we saw that as well. But Nic Nemeth, he's going to be looking around. We'll tell you a little bit later on in the show what that Nic Nemeth and Santana had to do with the championship match, the international title, and how that became a factor as well. Well, Mustafa Ali will defend the international championship. We're going to show you that defending the international championship against Navarro. Navarro again. Unfortunately, not working in favor. Championship match, we saw this Ricky Sosa back into the TNA. He across their world champion. Ricky Sosa. Ricky Sosa. Want to show you our malfunction. We're gonna show you what we can't show you. As we saw right here, I want to show you that, but back here on TNA Ring Report, we had a malfunction. Now we could be back into scheduled program and stuff. We told you that Eric Young lost to Mike Santana, but Ricky Sosa returned to help Mike Santana out, getting the victory. Ricky Sosa helped out that, but Mike caused the trigger with him and Eric Young. Eric Young was the one that put Ricky Sosa out of commission with that spike pile driver. Now Ricky Sosa also Eric Young, the one thing that Eric Young wanted to be world champion. So that's not going to be happening in the plans. But speaking of that, during the International Championship, Santana, not Santana, but Mustafa Ali set to defend the world title against Casey Navarro later on in the main event. So you'll see that match as well. Casey Navarro and how that became into the world title scene. Well, it was a tag team match. The System, Cedric Alexander and Eddie Edwards teamed up against Leon Slater, and I guess a partner of Leon Slater choosing. I guess that's what they say. But we saw the return of Moose coming back to save the day. Moose returning and getting some revenge. Moose coming back, and Moose will be part of Slammiversary. Moose will take on Eddie Edwards. I think they did again. This like 10 years ago. Now they're gonna go again 10 years later at Slammiversary. Moose versus Eddie Edwards, 1-on-1. Slammiversary. They should have been had that match at Slammiversary. You know how that go. So you see how that's gonna progress and stuff. So Moose versus Eddie Edwards. Moose getting some Metro revenge. Well, it looks like the Righteousness came out there with a ladder. I don't know why they came out with a ladder. The Righteousness coming out there to say they win against the Hardys. Righteousness was in action last week when they went against the Hardys and defeated the Hardys in that Wicked Garden match. And put the Hardys. We haven't seen what the Hardys are doing and how the Hardys are focusing and stuff. So the Hardy Boys, the Righteousness, seeing that they the ones that made the Hardy Boys disappear. They did in some way, some form or fashion. We saw that, but we ain't heard from the Hardy Boys, and we don't know what the Hardy Boys' whereabouts is going forward. So keep a close eye on that. But speaking of that, Indy Hartwell coming out at Santino's A. Indy and Santino, a lot going on with them. At the last week when Indy Hartwell helped out Santino get the victory over Santino's daughter, Ariana Grace, and son-in-law, Stacks. You saw that. So Santino playing a pivotal role. Santino thanks Ariana Grace for her help. Santino now moves on to what he's got going on. So we'll see what Santino is going to be doing next. Well, it looks like Mia Sheree and a whole bunch of others, they can join the dark side. You know what I mean? Join the dark side. You join the dark side. So she helped out her friend Rosemary. They did so tonight. Getting the victory is over as possible. It really wasn't too much going on for real. But as we saw, we told you too that Cedric Alexander pinned Leon Slater to get the victory. You know, they're going to be in a huge, important matchup coming up in Slammiversary. They're going to be in part of their Ultimate X. Cedric defends the X Division Championship against Leon and a couple of others, Ultimate X. So we're going to be seeing all this with Cedric getting the victory over Leon Slater. Cedric punching his ticket, punching his shot to perhaps gain him some momentum in the weeks to come. Well, it looks like Ash by Elegance, me and Sherrod defeated the Elegance brand. Ash by Elegance getting possessed by a voodoo doll. And that voodoo doll making Ash doing all these weird, unorthodox stuff that she didn't never thought existed, but did existed. So you kind of see how all this is playing out for Yeah. And the arrogance brand as well. Also, too, we told you Mr. Elegance got pinned. Well, he rolled up. He pinned, you know who, Elias, to get the win. Elias having problems with AJ Francis, causing problems as well. So you've seen a lot of that as well. Well, we see Mustafa Ali and Casey Navarro having their match. What a match that was, and how that match played a huge role into the match as well. So Casey Navarro did the shot that he wanted. Did. Casey Navarro did. You see Mustafa Ali didn't stop whatsoever. He kept going, trying to break that man's leg. Casey Navarro um, did yeah, in a differential role. So a lot of stuff happened. It just didn't really happen as expected. So, caring about really diligent the situation that was at hand. So, was their version of the, you know what, but like you said, it's TNA for it. So, action. So, so well, we're gonna leave you here on the Pro Wrestling Show with a lot of unanswered questions. We know Santana and Nic Nemeth will go at each other for the World Championship at Slammiversary. They showed it tonight, so we'll keep a very close eye on this, on how all this will play out. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the TNA Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendra Dix, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the SmackDown Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.